These are LK emotion eras, right? So there's the come up era where I'm like really cocky. And then there's the depression era where like I'm winning almost everything, but I'm super emo. Then I have the anger era where I got over being emo, but now I'm just mad. Like my answer to being sad was to be mad. And then there is the confusion era of do I even know how to play these games in the first place? And now there's the acceptance era of let's just do our best. This is my current era is let's just do our best. I really did have something to prove because I live in New Jersey, so I'm not from any specific region, right? All I hear when I go everywhere, this is something that used to really bother me. Yeah, so everywhere I go, people's like, yeah, we got this amazing guy who's gonna fuck you up. Yeah, like, you know, that shit that you're doing is not good, blah, blah. I had something to prove. My original problem was just close. I just couldn't fucking close. Like, I would always do really well. I got to a point where I would do really well, couldn't close. Then one day in MBAA, I got like 9th, 16th, 17th, something at a tournament, at some place I haven't gone for a while. I was like, this is fucking garbage. And I was like, you know, this character is just not the same. I'm not really fitting her, blah, blah, blah. Scene is telling me, just stick with her, you'll get it. You'll get it. Don't worry, you'll get it. I decided to switch off that character. I switched to Kohaku, and I won my first major like 2 months after. And after that, I was just winning majors. I was like, oh shit. Like, I just won all these majors. I went to EVO, I got second. I went to final round, I got second. Those are the only times I got second that year. So now we're in the come up phase, because now what would happen is this is when like people actually would use SRK. Once upon a time, people used Shoryuken.com, and after every big tournament, they would have all the events and they would have like the top 8 people. And what would happen is over like the next like year or two, just like anytime there's Melty, like LK first, LK second for like a year plus. And with BB, I was always like top 3-ish. I wasn't really winning stuff in BB when it came out, but it would get to the point where like I would talk to people at an after party, or maybe you'd randomly go into a room, be drinking, and people like, oh, like what do you play? I'm like, oh, I'm here for Melty. How'd you do? I'm like, oh, I won. They're like, oh, you're that Lord Knight guy I see winning everything. That's kind of cool. I'm like, yeah. So we have the come up period. I'm kind of cocky, you know, I talk some shit. We skip to Persona. Persona is a really like, I can't describe how important Persona is for anime games. And in my opinion, for the US, it's one of the most important games that ever came out, I think, for anime scene, because the game is huge. It's because it's based off Persona. So the tournaments are really big. It's really, really visible, and we get consistent international competition during that game too for the first time. So I'm playing Mitsuru. Mitsuru is the best, and she really fits my playstyle. She's super fucking strong, and I'm out here swinging. Also during this time, FGC Twitter appears, and our Kappa is a thing. So I'm super fucking emo, because I'm like, man, like, I'm doing it, you know? Like, it's not, you know, I'm doing it, I'm fucking winning a lot, but like, anytime I win, people say I'm carried by the character, even though no one is doing anything with the character besides me. And then when I don't win, they're like, you're trash. Like, every tournament. And I'm saying shit about it. I'm like, tight. I'm like, man, like, I'm fucking out here busting my ass. And then, like, I'm traveling by myself. Everyone's talking shit. And I'm barely losing. Like, what the fuck is this? It all goes until EVO 2013, where I get second, lose to Yume. And then the comments I got after that, I was like, what the fuck's the point? Like, I should just quit fighting games. Like, what's the point? Like, what is the point when you win, everyone is like, fuck you. And when you lose, everyone goes, ha, fuck you. Like, what's the point? We move to the depression phase, where I'm just going to tournaments, but I'm sad at every tournament. Like, I'm never happy at tournaments. Until, like, the end of the year, I'm, like, really depressed. And, like, I want to quit. Then BBCP comes out, and when I'm at NEC that year, I'm like, you know what, man, like, everyone said I was trash before, so like, what's the difference between them saying I was trash in Melty and BB, and then saying I was trash in Persona? Besides, I'm just way more consistent in Persona. So I gotta stop thinking that I'm trash because people say I'm trash. I'm like, let's just do our best. So we have like a couple of weeks of not depression, and then I get emo over Lychee because they changed her too much, because they changed her every version, but they changed her a ton. So I'm like emo about Lychee. I'm like, what the fuck? Even though she's top tier, I'm like really unhappy. So I switched to Valkenhayn. I have a blast with Valkenhayn. Totally having a blast. Loving fighting games. Loving improving with him. He's really fucking fun. He's broken, by the way. Like, he's so fucking stupid. But I have a really good time playing him. And then, not only do they add that bitch Kokonoe, who I was like, what the fuck? Everyone is like, what the fuck? But they truly dead Valkenhayn for a patch. So I'm like, well, I guess I have to play Kokonoe, even though I don't really like her that much. Like, I don't want to play Lychee. Like, I can't play Valk, so the only character I have left is Kokonoe. Because I played Kokonoe because people were like, oh, Kokonoe is garbage, but like they would pick and choose whose Kokonoe is cool, right? FG players give you bad character advice. They were like, stick with Vyakia. And I'm like, I don't like Vyakia, and I feel like I'm getting randomed out, so why would I keep playing her? So that's what people were hitting me with Lychee. They're like, oh, you'll get it. Like, it's fine. She's top tier. The only thing they're right about was that she's top tier. But the style was too different. So I made the choice, and it was the right choice, to switch off her and play someone else. So I really don't like taking people's advice on characters, because I think fighting game players give bad advice on characters. The best advice is Sanford's advice of just pick a top tier. That's actually the true best advice, is just pick a top tier. I think I'm good at giving character advice, but it's because I have my scale of like, I have a checklist I give people to do of like, pick a character that you like, then if you don't like the character, pick a playstyle you like. If you don't have a playstyle that you like, then pick a top tier. But like, that shit fucked me up for so long. So long. Like it was a really big issue I had for a long time. We go back to being sad playing Kokonoe. I'm doing like okay, you know, I'm doing okay. And at this point, like SKD is like fucking people with Izue. Izue is like, she's not like the best, but the main thing is like everyone thinks she sucks, and my dude just pushes her like to an inspirational amount. He's not fucking around with like Ultimax. So Ultimax comes out, and my motivation comes back because of Margaret. Because I'm like, oh, like, I could do this too. Like, I get the chance to play a character day one that no one gets to play. And it's a character I truly like. Let's slow down with BB. Let's play Persona. Let's focus on Persona. Exerd comes out during Persona. And I'm playing both at the same time. But, like, I'm playing, like, a little bit more Persona. I kind of, like, cycle between the two. And I make up my mind pretty early in 2015 that after Persona 2015 Evo, I will stop playing Persona totally and only play Guilty Gear and just try to get good with one character. Similarly to before, I end up picking Milia on my own. I actually was supposed to play Ram, but I pick up Milia because I actually get super inspired by Woshige. And when I tell people I'm gonna play Milia, they're like, oh shit, LK Milia is gonna be ridiculous. This character is so easy. She suits you. You fucking got it, right? Lo and behold, we move between depression and anger for like a year because everyone's telling me she's super easy, but I'm like, I'm busting my fucking ass. Like, what the fuck is this? Right? And it all culminates in a tournament where I go like, I just do like really bad at like a New York local 1 week, like really bad. And I go home, I'm just tight. And like, I'm just thinking about everyone saying how easy she is. And then like, if I'm just in the car, like, man, she's so easy. Where are all the fucking million players? I don't fucking understand. Everyone's telling me I gotta learn the LFL matchup where like, I feel like I can't do anything. Like, they're telling me all this shit. And I'm like, I'm in the car, I'm on my way home. I'm like, you know what? I'm inspired by Woshige. Why don't I watch the person I'm inspired by rather than listen to some shit that people who don't play the character are telling me, right? So that's what I do. My motivation comes back, and then we solidly enter the anger phase. Because now I'm super motivated to play by anger, like just by pure raw anger of like Guilty Gear players piss me off, LFL pisses me off, FGC Twitter pisses me off, everything pisses me off. So I'm totally motivated by anger for like a significant amount of time. And like by like sheer anger, I get to like a high level in the US in the game. So we're just in anger phase. Rev 2 comes out and even more angry because they changed Milia in like a cap way. I'm fucking mad, but it's anger. You know, we win a couple of majors despite her being trash, that version. And then we just go through until Dragon Ball. During Exerd, right? I remember literally watching myself play Exerd. And I'm watching myself play Kami. And I'm just watching. I'm like, man, this game is fucking beautiful. Like, I forget. I was watching some shonen anime. I think I was watching, like, My Hero at that time. Maybe, like, it just came out. I don't remember what I was watching. I was probably watching My Hero. And I remember watching Exerd. And I'm like, man, like, Exerd is so fucking good looking. It literally looks like an anime. Like, why don't they just make another anime game like Persona? And then a little bird, I mean, not a little bird, a big fucking bird told me about Dragon Ball. And he's like, yeah, there's gonna be a Dragon Ball 3 vs 3 that's gonna be like Marvel, you know, that's coming out. It's gonna be dope. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, whatever, Dragon Ball. I don't give a fuck about Dragon Ball. When I first see Dragon Ball, like in person at EVO, I go, oh shit, this is the game. I must play this game. Like this is Duty Fighter. Like, I actually thought I probably said this to people in Melty. I thought Blaze Blue was gonna be Duty Fighter, where like Street Fighter 4 just came out and Street Fighter 4 was having like 300-man tournaments, huge deal back then. So I was like, oh, Blaze Blue is gonna be anime Street Fighter 4. I was really wrong because I was super wrong. I didn't know at the time that a kid and a robot fucking you really bad is not fun for people to play against. It has to be Akuma, or it has to be like Wonder Woman. It has to be like a recognizable character fucking you, not Carl. But Dragon Ball when I saw it, I was like, this is the one. This actually is gonna be the one. This actually is gonna be the one, right? Even though even though I'm not like a huge Dragon Ball fan, like I like Dragon Ball, but I'm not like, oh my god, Dragon Ball is my life. I was like, this is the one. Dragon Ball comes out finally. So the Dragon Ball streams were huge. I was streaming off my console, and like we were all passing people around during the beta. We were doing all like the good stuff that you should do. I even do a little YouTube at that time. Get some subs, you know, get some videos. One of my most viewed videos is from that time. It's just me versus Sonic, you know. But 1 month into Dragon Ball, I'm like, there's a big problem. The game is trash. I'm like, this game fucking sucks. This game is not fun. Like, what the fuck? This game is so cap. Like Exert is cap because 2.1 is not quite out yet, and then Dragon Ball's cap. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I was like, wait, this is Duty Fighter. Like, endure. And then Kizzy told me, why don't you try Trunks? You will probably like Trunks. Why don't you try Trunks? I switched to Trunks. I have the time of my fucking life. Like Trunks saved the game for me. Like, frankly, Trunks saved the game, and I fucking start playing more because I really enjoy Trunks. He has all the shit that I like. And one of the saddest periods of pre-EVA was dropping Trunks because I got into Summit, and I was like, I see his weakness, even though I have fun, but it's like, I gotta play Cell. I played, my original team was actually a really good team. It was 18 Kid Buu, SSJ Goku was my very first team. That was my it's actually like in today's mindset, it's an amazing team that I made day one. But the team I played at Summit was Kid Buu Cell 16, trash. Such a bad team. The definition of I picked 3 good characters. Yeah, I just didn't know how to use like beam assist. There's, you know, I was new to team games, like just straight up new to team games. I just didn't know how to build teams, what was cheap. I learned everything about team games over time in Dragon Ball from studying people, like studying everybody, every region, right? EU, Japan, US, paying attention to Marvel players, just really studying everybody and building stuff. It's not Marvel was a weak spot. It's I didn't play because, once again, in Marvel, I listened to people and I asked people from my state. This is something that still gets me mad to this day. I asked people from my state, who should I play? A friend recommended Morgan Doom Virgil. And they're like, oh, no, you wouldn't like that. You should play Viper because you're an anime player. Stupid. Only, of course, Capcom players will always tell an anime player to play the hardest shit in the fucking game. I played that shit for 2 weeks. I quit the game. So like, this shit's too fucking hard. That shit is cap. This is why I don't listen to people. Because they only tell you cap shit. They only tell. This is why I'm here as a content creator. Even if you don't agree with me, at least respect that I'm giving you what I think is good advice and truly my opinion. Like that even if you think I'm a cap star, even if you think the shit I say is wrong, you can at least guarantee that I believe what I'm saying and I really am trying to do the best for you. They told me don't play Morgan Doom Virgil? What the fuck? Morgan is made for me, bro. Like, what the fuck? Not only do I love Morgan, but the team was the best. It's crazy. I meme with Flux about, like, oh, how I'd play Zero. Even though I meme with him about that, honestly, if he was my boy and it was really serious and he told me at that time, you should try Zero instead, that's way better advice than fucking playing Viper Strider. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? My boy has my back is what I'm saying. Yeah, so we return, right? In the middle of Dragon Ball, I call it the confused era because Dragon Ball challenged everything I knew about fighting games because it's a team game and I haven't played team games before. And it made me really doubt myself as a player. Like, just straight up, I was like, man, like, am I like trash for real? Like, am I washed up for real? Or is the game bad? Or am I playing this game wrong? Like, is it just the game? I'm learning a new type of game. I gotta figure it out. So in Dragon Ball Season 2, I did something I don't normally do. I actually listened to people again for the first time in like years. I like would have conversations with people that I would normally not ask for advice or like even mention certain like ideas to talk about, and I'll just talk about it with them. Like, and I many different people, and you gotta remember, it's Dragon Ball Season 2. You know, we're going all over the world. Like, I went to EU multiple times. We went to Mexico, PR. I'm asking people everywhere, right? At the end of the year, I came to the conclusion that I'm not washed and I just don't know how to play team games, and it's fine. And you're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're actually doing fine, and you're doing your best. And you've never played this type of game before. It's me. Like, it's not the game sucks, right? It's not the game sucks. It's not that you're washed. It's that you're learning something new from the ground up, and you're working really hard. And you have to consider that a lot of other people from the games that you were playing who went to Dragon Ball all gave up. You're the only person who kept with it. You're one of the only people who kept with it. So all good, right? So we move from the confusion era to our current era of the let's just do our best, and that's where I am now. I'm just doing my best. That's all you could do, one game at a time, doing the best you can, and that's how we got to today. So if you missed it, it's the come up era, and then the depression era, then the anger era, then the confusion era, and now the let's do our best and have fun.